Today, we're talking about the real cost of selling digital products on Etsy, how much Etsy actually takes out of your sales, the extra tools I personally pay for each month, and whether it's even worth it. A lot of people assume it's completely free to start selling digital products online, but that's not true. There are fees and costs you'll want to know about before you dive in. But before we get into the actual costs, let's talk about why selling digital products on Etsy is one of the cheapest and smartest businesses you can start. First, there's no inventory. You don't have to buy supplies, stock a garage full of products, or ship anything out. Once your design is uploaded, it sells over and over again without you lifting a finger. And the best part is, Etsy handles the delivery for you. The second a customer buys, Etsy automatically sends them the download link. You don't have to email files, keep track of orders, or worry about time zones. Whether someone buys at 2 p.m. or 2 a.m., Etsy delivers the product instantly, all while you're busy living your life. Second is the built-in traffic. Etsy gets hundreds of millions of visits every single month. That means as a beginner, you don't need to run Facebook ads, grow an Instagram, or spend hours posting on TikTok just to get a few eyeballs on your products. The shoppers are already there and typing in keywords looking for exactly what you sell. Imagine setting up your little shop on a street where over 400 million people walk by every month. Some of them are going to stop, look, and buy. That's the kind of visibility Etsy gives you from day one. And if you want to know exactly how to get more views on your listing without using social media, I'll link a video up here for you walking you through exactly how to do it. And then third, we have instant trust. When you open a brand new website on your own, you have to convince people you're legit before they feel comfortable handing over their credit card information. With Etsy, that barrier is already gone. Buyers already know the platform, they've shopped there for years, and they trust it with their payment details. That trust automatically transfers to you as a seller. Instead of worrying if your shop looks credible enough, you get to piggyback off of Etsy's 20 plus years of reputation. All you have to do is show up with great products. That's what makes Etsy such a powerful place to start. You can set up your shop, upload your first product, and literally make sales while you're asleep like my student Sarah. But even though it's cheaper than most businesses, it's not totally free. Now let's break down the 5 different types of costs and fees you might see on Etsy. Some of these are one-time fees that you'll only pay when you're just getting started, and the others are ongoing fees that every seller has to pay with each sale. First is the one-time setup fee. Some new shops are charged a one-time setup fee that ranges from about $15 to $29 USD. You are charged this shop just one time when you first open a brand new Etsy shop. It is non-refundable, varies by location, and Etsy doesn't show you the exact amount until you're setting up your shop. But remember, you only pay this one time. Second is the listing fee. Every time you put up a new product, it will cost you 20 cents. That listing stays active for 4 months. If it sells and you relist it, or if it expires and you renew it, you'll pay another 20 cents. Third is the transaction fee. Etsy takes 6.5% of the sale price. So if you sell a $10 product, about 65 cents goes to Etsy. This is their cut for bringing you the customer. Fourth are the payment processing fees. In the US, it's 3% plus 25 cents per order. Think of this like a credit card fee. Every payment processor, PayPal, Stripe, Square, they all charge something similar. Etsy just bundles it in. And then fifth, we have off-site ads. If you sell more than $10,000 in a 12-month period, Etsy automatically includes you in their off-site ads program. They'll promote your products on places like Google, Facebook, Pinterest, and a few other places to help you make more sales. Whenever you do make a sale through your off-site ad, if you are over $10,000 in a 12-month period, you will pay 12%. If you are under $10,000 in a 12-month period, you will pay 15% on that sale that came through the offsite ad. Now, just to be clear, if you've made less than $10,000 in a 12-month period, you can opt out of offsite ads. But that means Etsy will not promote your products for you on all of the channels. So you may get less views and less sales. So let's put all of these fees into real numbers. Let's say you sell a $5 digital product. First, Etsy will charge you the 20-cent listing fee. Then you'll have the 6.5% transaction fee, which is about 33 cents. Then you'll have the 3% plus 25 cents processing fee, which is about 40 cents. Without offsite ads, your total fees are about 93 cents. And that leaves you $4.07 in profit. Now, if that same $5 sale came through an offsite ad, and as a beginner with under $10,000 in sales in the last 12 months, you'll have a 15% fee added on. That means Etsy will take another 75 cents from your $5 sale. So if you make a sale with offsite ads, that would bring your total in fees to $1.68, leaving you with about $3.32 in profit. So you can see how offsite ads hit harder on low-ticket digital products. Although you're still making a profit, it is smaller. But I still recommend as a beginner, you keep offsite ads on. The extra exposure means more people see your products, which leads to more sales, and just as important, more reviews. And I want to clarify here that offsite ads and Etsy ads are not the same thing. Once your shop has reviews and good momentum, it's a lot easier to keep making consistent sales, even if you get busy with life and have to step away from your shop for a few days or even a few weeks. So those are the 5 fee buckets. They're all predictable, and once you know them, you can plan your prices around them. Now, let's talk about how to handle these fees so they don't eat away at your profits. The biggest mistake new sellers make is completely ignoring these fees until it's payday, and then they're shocked at how much Etsy takes out. The simple fix is to price your products around these fees. For me, I automatically add an extra 10 to 15% to my total price just to account for these fees. That way, when I do make a sale, I'll already know how much is going to be taken out. And that also means there's no surprises when the deposit hits my bank account. Another way to look at fees is a marketing expense. Etsy is putting your shop in front of millions of buyers every single day. If you had to buy ads to get that traffic on your own, it would cost way more than what Etsy is charging you. So instead of dreading the fees, use them to your advantage. Treat them as the price of exposure. And finally, remember the old saying, it takes money to make money. On Etsy, your fees aren't wasted. They are part of building momentum, visibility, and sales. If you plan for them and work them into your pricing, there will be no surprises. On top of Etsy's built-in fees, I also pay for a few tools each month that make it easier and faster to run my shop. Now, these are not required to start. You can open your shop and make sales with nothing but Etsy fees. But here's what I personally pay for and why. First is Canva Pro. I pay $119 a year, which breaks down to about $10 a month. Canva is where I design my products, create my mockups, and create my listing photos. The free version works, but Canva Pro saves me hours with features like resizing, brand kits, and pro elements. And if you want to see the exact Canva templates that are making sales every single day, I have a video with 7 Canva template ideas you can copy. I even give you a few templates, so I'll link that up here for you to watch. So for me, Canva is a must-have. The second tool I pay for is Everbee. Currently, it is $29.99 a month, but I got a discount where I pay $14.99 a month. This tool helps me research what's already selling on Etsy, bestsellers, estimated sales, and keyword data. Do you absolutely need it? No. But if you have Everbee, you won't have to waste hours guessing on what is going to sell. You'll have the data right in front of you. And the third thing I pay for is ChatGPT Plus. It's $20 a month, and I use this for brainstorming, writing product descriptions, optimizing my listing photos, and even strategy ideas. It's like having a business partner I can bounce ideas off of 24/7. Again, not required, but it saves me so much time and helps me make more money. So altogether, my tool stack costs me about $45 a month. And I want to be super clear that these are choices. I could run my shop without them, but as a homeschooling stay-at-home mom, I pay for them because they make it much easier, faster, and they help me make more money without me having to use up more of my time. Now, here's where I want to be really clear. There is a big difference between optional tools and non-negotiable Etsy fees. The non-negotiables are fees every single seller has to pay. The 20-cent listing fee, the 6.5% transaction fee, the 3% plus 25 cents processing fee, and of course the offsite ads fee if you make a sale through offsite ads. There's no way around those. They're just the cost of doing business on Etsy. The optional costs are things like ChatGPT Plus, Everbee, and Canva Pro. You don't need them to open your shop and make your first sale, but they're accelerators. They save time, cut out guesswork, and help you make more money. So if you're just starting, focus on covering the non-negotiables and don't worry about adding on these extra tools that I use. As your shop grows and you're making more money, then it will make more sense to start investing in tools that will save you time and help you make even more money. At the end of the day, every business has costs. The difference with Etsy is that these costs are very small compared to all of the different types of businesses you could start. You don't need thousands of dollars in inventory, you don't need fancy funnel software, and you don't need to pay monthly to set up your own website. The way I look at it, every dollar I spend on fees and tools is an investment. Canva saves me hours of design time. Everbee helps me avoid wasting weeks creating products that no one is going to buy. ChatGPT gives me strategy ideas and feedback so I can make more money. So you can see that each tool is strategic. It either saves me time or helps me make more money. And with these fees, you're really paying to get the exposure to millions of people without having to post 5 times a day on TikTok or spend hours creating reels and stories for Instagram. If you had to run ads to get that kind of traffic, you could easily spend thousands of dollars per month. Or if you tried to get that same reach using social media, you would spend hours of your time posting and barely get a fraction of the eyeballs. So even though people love complaining about how ridiculous Etsy fees are, I see them as one of the biggest bargains in online business. For a few cents here and there, I am tapping into a global audience and making sales while I'm doing the dishes, while I'm putting away laundry, and even while I'm sleeping. So when you add it all up, the true cost of selling digital products on Etsy is incredibly low compared to other business models. Those fees that you pay are giving you a ton of exposure, and they're also making your life easier so you don't have to worry about learning how to market on social media just to make money. But if you're still on the fence about starting, I completely understand. That's why I put together my free Etsy starter guide that shows you how to get started selling digital products on Etsy in just 2 days. And one question I get a lot is it possible to make money on Etsy from day one? And that's why in my next video, I'm walking you through the exact strategy I would use to start making money from day one selling digital products on Etsy.